They call him the Oracle of Omaha. But Warren Buffett's real magic isn't prophecy, it's patience. Every 24 hours, while millions panic over stock charts, his wealth quietly compounds by more than most CEOs earn in a year. Most investors chase excitement. Buffett chased boredom. Where others see stagnation, he sees momentum, invisible to the impatient eye. Maybe you felt that same pull, the fear that if you're not moving, you're falling behind. Buffett built a $100 billion fortune by proving the opposite. He turned stillness into speed, time into profit, patience into power. And the unbreakable rule he followed for 70 years transformed waiting itself into a weapon of wealth. It began in Omaha, a quiet Midwestern city far from the chaos of Wall Street. While other kids traded baseball cards, young Warren Buffett was trading ideas. At 11, he bought his first stock. At 14, he filed his first tax return. By 17, he'd read every investing book in his local library. But his real discovery wasn't in any book. It was in human behavior. He noticed people hated waiting. They wanted shortcuts, quick profits, fast results, instant wins. Buffett realized that if everyone else was running, the only advantage left was to stand still. Maybe you felt that same restlessness, checking prices every hour, fearing you're falling behind. He felt it too. And instead of fighting the market, he built a mindset that outlasted it. He wasn't chasing money, he was compounding time. The world worships speed. Buffett mastered patience, and that single trait turned $10,000 into $100 billion. And buried inside that patience was a formula so simple it could fit in a single sentence, but it changed the math of wealth forever. Buffett's empire was built on one quiet law of the universe: never interrupt compounding. He compares money to a snowball rolling down a hill. The longer it rolls, the bigger it grows. The secret isn't in the snowball, it's in the slope and the time you give it to gather speed. Most people start their snowball, then panic at the first melt. They sell too soon, switch too fast, restart too often, and the snow never sticks. Buffett's genius was not brilliance, it was patience. He once said, "You can't produce a baby in 1 month by getting 9 women pregnant." In other words, some things just take time. Maybe you've done the same. Saved a little, got impatient, spent it early. Buffett's rule wasn't to avoid mistakes, it was to let time forgive them. He let compounding turn imperfection into inevitability. Inside Berkshire Hathaway, he added a second engine to the snowball: insurance float. Every year, millions of policyholders hand him money he doesn't owe back for years. That float became an interest-free loan, fuel for the snowball to roll even faster. And what started as a slow roll of patience soon became a $100 billion avalanche of wealth no one could stop. Buffett knew patience alone wasn't enough. You can't keep compounding if your castle keeps getting attacked. So he built moats, defenses that protect profits from competition. Most investors chase new territory. Buffett fortifies old ground. He looks for businesses so good that even incompetence can't kill them. Think Coca-Cola. Anyone can make a soda, but no one can copy its brand memory. Think American Express. Thousands issue credit cards, but only one name still signals prestige. Or See's Candies, a small chocolate shop whose customers refuse substitutes, even at double the price. Maybe you felt that constant pressure to keep finding the next big thing before someone else does. Buffett escaped that race by owning companies the race can't touch. He built a system where time defends him instead of competitors attacking him. Every year that passes, his moats widen. every crisis that comes, his castles stand taller. Because the longer you survive, the stronger patience becomes. And the real turning point came when Buffett used a dying company to prove that patience and moats together could rewrite capitalism itself. Buffett buys a failing textile mill called Berkshire Hathaway. Everyone calls it a mistake. The factories are dying, the workers leaving, the industry collapsing. But where others saw ruin, Buffett saw a vehicle. He turned Berkshire into a shell, a holding company that could buy other businesses without spending a penny of his own money. The textile company became a money machine for everything else. Maybe you felt that urge to start over every time something fails. Buffett did the opposite. He recycled failure into leverage. He used a broken business as fuel for a bigger one. Soon Berkshire owned stakes in Coca-Cola, American Express, and later Apple. Each acquisition was a layer of compounding moats, a network of cash flows feeding one core principle: never stop the snowball. By the time the world noticed, Buffett had built a $700 billion empire out of patience and discipline. He didn't beat Wall Street at its own game. He changed the rules of the game entirely. And while the world chased the next gold rush, Buffett quietly discovered the only law of wealth that never expires. Decades later, Buffett's rule looks almost too simple, yet almost no one follows it. He built his fortune by mastering what others ignore: emotional discipline. He once said, "The stock market is designed to transfer money from the impatient to the patient." Every crash tests that truth. Every rally tempts you to forget it. Maybe you felt that tug, the fear that doing nothing means losing. That fear is what Buffett trained himself to silence. He learned that real wealth isn't built by movement. It's built by momentum that never stops. His second law is equally brutal. Rule number 1, never lose money. Rule number 2, never forget rule number 1. That doesn't mean he never takes losses. It means he never takes unnecessary ones. He avoids the kind of mistakes that break compounding's rhythm: debt, ego, distraction. And his final lesson: buy what you understand, then hold it long enough for patience to do its work, because time is the only investor that never loses. And if patience built Buffett's empire, could the same formula still create one, even without billions to begin with? In a world obsessed with crypto, AI stocks, and overnight riches, Buffett's patience feels ancient, but it still outperforms. While traders chase trends they barely understand, his snowball keeps rolling, quietly crushing almost every modern fund. He calls speculation rat poison squared, not because he hates technology, but because he knows what happens when greed outruns understanding. Maybe you've watched markets skyrocket and crash and thought, if I just timed it right. Buffett's success proves timing isn't luck, it's longevity. He waited for decades while others searched for shortcuts, and the slope of his snowball only grew steeper. Today, that same formula applies to everything: your career, your business, your habits. Patience compounds skill just like it compounds money. Those who play long games always end up owning the short ones. Because the next generation of empires won't belong to the fastest. They'll belong to those who never stop rolling. The story of Warren Buffett isn't about luck. It's about rhythm. A rhythm built on patience, protection, and the quiet faith that time never betrays those who respect it. He didn't chase wealth. He engineered it through consistency. And now you know the rule he never broke. Never interrupt the snowball. Now that you know how he did it, what's stopping you from thinking like him? Subscribe, because every episode reveals another rule the rich never explain. And the next empire we uncover built its fortune not on patience, but on fear itself.